My name is Matt Parry and I'm a travel photographer. I'm here in the Balkans bringing along Wex Photographic on a road trip visiting 3 countries and spending 24 hours in each. It's all about what is possible in a short space of time and with a limited budget of under £500. Along the way, I'll be talking you through my approach, my kit choices, as well as some of the considerations, techniques and challenges that you may face as a travel photographer. We've just come over the border from Croatia. We're really looking forward to this one, and there's really beautiful places to see along this stretch. We'll be hugging the Dalmatian coast, heading to a town called Kotor, which is basically a fjord surrounded by mountains, some striking views along the way, and there's a couple of little towns that we're going to stop off and visit, so really looking forward to this one. We've just stopped on the side of the road that runs along the Bay of Kotor. Fishing's a big part of the economy in this part of the world, and so there's these quite striking circular nets that they use to catch the fish. So we've got this nice interesting foreground of the weeds and the grass, and then the bay itself. So what I've done, I've just put on a landscape polarizing filter. The light is not perfect for this type of shot, but putting on this, because the sun is coming at a right angle and I'm not looking directly at it, it will allow me to boost the contrast in the sky. So the clouds that we've got there will be a little bit lighter against a kind of darker blue. So it should work quite nicely then leading in through this foreground. We've just arrived now in Kotor in Montenegro from our journey from Dubrovnik. This is a beautiful old town behind us, so what we're going to do is head straight in and have an explore. What you'll immediately notice is this is considerably quieter than Dubrovnik. We've still got the same heat, but it's a lot emptier. Admittedly, we're not in the main entrance at the moment. We've come in one of the side gates, but we'll keep having a wander through. But hopefully it will stay this quiet, which will enable us to get some really nice shots. You can see behind me is the Kotor's cat souvenir shop. There's even cats in the window. This town is actually famous for cats. They wander around quite freely and seem to attract a lot of tourists as well. We've just walked past one of the lovely little boutique shops here, which had really nice colourful paintings on the blinds outside. I was just stopping to take some pictures using that as a backdrop and using a slower shutter speed to get some movement past it. The guy that had actually painted the blinds came out and we just started chatting. That's very nice.
Thank you.
Very creative. His name was Milos, so we took a picture of him and just had a really good chat, and he's given us some good tips for what to do tonight up at the fortress. So we will give that a go later on. We are on the walls now that lead up to the fortress of St. John, or San Giovanni. These are the ancient fortifications that surround the old town of Kotor, which is just beneath us here. What we're going to do is follow the main trail past this church that you can see all the way up to the very top. If you are thinking of doing this, there's a €3 charge that you pay just down below. And always take plenty of water because it is fairly steep. And the view is incredible really from up here. And the thing is, it only gets better as we get higher, so it's around 1,002 metres high. We've walked up about 1,350 steps, so we are a little bit tired. The flag is flying, but there isn't much breeze. That's just probably bad timing really, but that's flying, so it is actually sweltering up here. We can see right down over the triangular old town, and the view's right out across the fjords to the mountains behind. It's well worth every bit of effort to get here. We've just left the top of the old fortress and we're making our way down through what pretty much looks like an abandoned path. We'll see, we'll just crack on through the bush. This is the old town right beneath us. You can see the full thing and looking down the fjord. So in my opinion, it's a much better view than up there where you're a bit restricted by trees. We've probably not got much of a sunset on our hands today, but we will wait with our fingers crossed. And in the meantime, I just want to touch on some of the kit that I've been using throughout this journey that we've been on, this road trip. We're set up now on a Mi Photo carbon fibre tripod, which is the road trip. For me, this is pretty much the perfect travel tripod. It is small, it's compact, and it's lightweight. Many shooters will have two bodies. Now, I don't typically carry a second DSLR with me when I travel, just purely for the size and weight. But what I do, and this is more probably out of a hobby than anything else, is I'll bring an old film camera with me. Now, the one I use is a Canon 3000V. Very, very cheap to pick one of these things up. And I shoot with Ilford HP5, and this is compatible with all my Canon lenses, so it means I can slip this thing into my bag as well as this, and I've got another kit. It gives me that extra opportunity to just try something different. I've had this bag for a number of years now, so this model is actually being superseded, but this is the Kotor 3-in-1 Pro Light. Now, this is a great bag. I should say actually this is the 25-litre version. There is a 35-litre version. I will typically carry more with me when I go away than I need, but what I'll do, I'll leave some of it in the hotel or in the bag. When I'm out and about shooting, I just decide what I want to shoot that day, and I'll carry the equipment that I need, so I'm not lugging around far more than is necessary. The sky is starting to get a bit of orange in the clouds now. At its brightest point, the sun is still blowing out slightly, so those sort of details are very difficult to recover. It's easier to boost the shadows, but if you boost shadows too much, obviously in certain cameras where the dynamic range is not as good, you will get noise in the picture. The last light of the sun now is going down, and it didn't turn out to be too bad at all, which just goes to show that if you have a little patience and perseverance, you might actually be rewarded. Today's our last full day. We've only roughly got 24 hours here in Montenegro, which is never enough for any destination really, especially one as incredible as this. It is around 7:30, so we've just driven to the opposite side to Muro, which is another tiny little village that actually overlooks the old town of Kotor. I mean, the sun has peaked over the top of the mountain up there, which might make it a little bit tricky. Well, we'll have a look. It's a lovely still morning, which is great for reflections. And this part of the fjord is very, very tranquil, and so the stillness really can help sort of mirror what you see. And just switching lenses again, because there's a guy sat in the middle of the bay down there, just on a little fishing boat, and he's got the backdrop of the mountains behind him. I'm trying to isolate him as the subject in the middle of that beautiful backdrop. We've just arrived and parked up in the town of Parast. As you can see behind me, the two islands, so Our Lady of the Rocks over there and St George's there. But first, before we go over, we're just going to have a walk down the front. This is a very small town. As you can see, you can just easily stroll up and down right along the waterfront. There's lots of little areas just to stand off the side of the road and take pictures looking down towards the mountains and the church down there. It's an absolutely beautiful place just to walk up and down and explore. Right, we're just on the boat now, heading over to the islands. First of all, we're going to circle St George's Island, which has a monastery on it, and then we're going to dock at Our Lady of the Rocks. Typically, the boat will drop you off, and then you arrange a time, and then it will come back and pick you up. Thank you very much. Okay, there's a church, there's a little shop, but other than that, really, it's just to take in the views, looking back over Parast, along the bay, and St George's Island that way. One of the nice things to do is shoot back towards Parast. It's from here that you get to see just how pretty and small that town actually is. With the backdrop of the mountains, it's really, really nice. Right, looks like our ride's here. Just happens to be coinciding with two pretty big ships coming in, but these guys know what they're doing, so he's going to manoeuvre in now and pick us up to take us back to Parast. Not quite sure what the guy's doing stood there though. Our 24 hours in Montenegro is coming to an end. We're going to jump in the car and start our journey home. We're just at the border crossing now, waiting to get back into Croatia. We've probably got about half an hour before we have to give the car back, which is still about 20 minutes away from the airport, and the queue is probably still going to take us at least another, I'd say, half an hour to get through. So we're going to be cutting it fine. There's a little bit of movement now, so we're going to jump back in and keep going. Right, we're about to say bye to our little Lancia Persilon. You know, the little thing served us all right. I mean, it couldn't beat a milk float or a tractor in a race, but you know, it's got us to 3 different countries over 3 different days. So, I'd be glad to give it back, to be honest with you. Get back to a proper car. We're at Dubrovnik Airport now, getting ready for the last leg of our journey. We've crossed 3 countries, visiting 3 key cities in just over 24 hours in each. We've travelled over 500 kilometres in a tiny little car, and it's been a great journey. When I get home, the hard work really starts, sifting through and editing over 500 images. I hope you've enjoyed this series on travel photography. If you have, make sure you subscribe to the Wex Photographic channel for more great videos, and thanks for watching.